Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? How are you doing? So today's video is about this stick over here, this one right here that I'm currently touching. So what's that stick? What is its purpose? How does it function? That is the objective for today's video. This stick is known as the wipers control stick. The wipers control stick is what controls your vehicle's wipers. Wipers at the front, the windshield wipers, and the wiper at the back or the rear window wiper. They are all controlled by this stick over here. Now in most vehicles in Uganda, this stick, the wipers control stick, is always located on the left side. Actually, for most vehicles that are right steering wheel positioned like this one, where the steering wheel is to the right side, they usually have this stick positioned to the left side. To the right over here, we have a headlamps control stick. This stick over here is what controls your turning signals left and right, your fog lights, your dipped beam, and your corner lights or parking lights, plus full beam and pass lights. They are all controlled by this stick over here, but that's not today's video. Today's video is about this stick over there. When you look at this stick over here, you notice that it has markings at the base over there. We have off, we have int, we have low, and we also have high at the bottom. What purpose do these four settings serve? Now these four settings control your windshield wipers. Your windshield wipers are the wipers that clean up your windshield. So your windshield wipers are controlled by these basic four settings over here. For most cars that I've been into, they have these four basic settings as they are. Now, when do we use which setting? The first setting up top is the off setting, this one over here. So what does off mean? Off is the default resting position for this stick when our windshield wipers are non-operational. So when we don't want, or once we want to stop our windshield wipers from working, we push this stick up all the way to the off setting. The next setting is int, this setting over here. What does int mean? How do the windshield wipers behave when int is selected? Now, once you select int, as I've done right now, once you select int, your wipers, your windshield wipers, are going to wipe while taking brakes. They are going to wipe while taking brakes as they are currently doing. So that is int. Now, for some vehicles, you find an additional dial similar to this. So I think you can see this dial that I'm trying to move around, this dial over here. Now, for some vehicles, it can have, or it can house markings similar to this, or you can find a word similar to this written as int. Written as int. Now, whichever thing that you find, it all means the same thing. This means int, and that also means int. Now, this dial usually sets the int time. Int time is the delay that you wish to have in between the brakes that your wipers are currently using. You see this thick marking over here, this marking over there. So this marking is much smaller than this marking over here. Now, once you turn this dial towards the smaller marking, you're going to notice that your wipers are going to take shorter brakes. And once you keep turning this dial towards the bigger setting, you're going to notice that your wipers, your windshield wipers, are going to take bigger brakes. Now, in order for this dial to work, you must first select int mode. So you have to first go to int, as I've done right now. Then it's only after selecting int that I can adjust the delay. So I've gone one click down, and as you can notice, my windshield wipers are going to wipe. They have wiped. You're going to wipe again, just like that. So if I wish to have a bigger delay, I keep on adjusting just like that. So I hope that is clear. Now, when do we use int mode? When is int mode used? Int mode is used when it is drizzling outside. So that light rain, we use int mode. The next setting down is low mode. What does low mode do? How do the windshield wipers behave once low mode is selected? Now, in low mode, your windshield wipers are going to wipe without brakes, but at a fairly slower pace. So low mode is 2 clicks down. Int mode is 1 click from off, as it is now. If I want int, I'm going to 1 click. That is int. And if I want low mode, I'm going to go another click down. So that is low mode over there. So low mode, they are wiping continuously, no brakes, but at a fairly slower speed. Now, when do we use low mode? We use low mode once it is raining outside, not so heavily, but at the same time, not so lightly. That's when we use low mode. The last one is high mode over there. When do we use high mode? High mode is used in extremely heavy rain. So in extremely heavy rain, that's when we opt for high mode. Once high mode is selected, your wipers are going to wipe the fastest without brakes, similar to this. So that's the fastest that your wipers can go. In case you want high mode, you have to push this stick all the way down. So it is 1, 2, 3 for high mode. I hope that is clear with everyone. The last thing that I'm going to talk about regarding windshield wipers is how you pour or how you splash washer fluid onto your windshield. So how do you splash washer fluid onto your windshield? That's what I'm going to talk about. Now, this can be done in one of 2 ways, depending on the vehicle's layout. For some vehicles like this one, the windshield wiper has a button on top. That button is similar to this one. Now for this button, once you press and hold it in, you notice that it does not stay in place. It comes back to the outside the second you let it go. It was designed that way for a purpose. So once you press and hold this button in, washer fluid is going to pour, it's going to splash onto your windshield as illustrated. So I'm now pressing and holding in, and if you look to the front, you notice that washer fluid is getting onto my windshield. Once I let it go, as I've done right now, the washer fluid also stops. Now, that is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, let me first go and have access to another vehicle with a slightly different layout. Alright, we are now in a second vehicle. And for this vehicle, you notice that it does not have an additional button on top of the windshield wiper. So how do we get washer fluid onto this windshield over here? Now, the way we get washer fluid onto this windshield for this vehicle, you have to hold and pull this stick towards the steering wheel. You have to pull and hold this stick towards the steering wheel. Something similar to this. So I'm holding the stick and I'm pulling it. So if you can see, I'm having washer fluid get onto my windshield. So that's the second way of doing it. So my dear viewers, that is it about windshield wipers. You know how to turn them on. You now know how to turn them off. You know how to get washer fluid onto the windshield, and you know how to stop it. So next, I'm shifting over to the rear wiper. This wiper at the back, there's a wiper at the back over there. I don't know if you see it. Now, the wiper at the back is not a must for all vehicles. Certain vehicles do not come with a rear wiper. but for some vehicles like the sedans, some sedans, modern sedans, SUVs, hatchbacks, they usually come with a rear wiper. Now, how do we control this rear wiper? This rear wiper is controlled using this dial over here. I don't know if you see this dial that I'm trying to move, this one that has rear and a square along with an illustration of a wiper and washer fluid splashing. So this is the marking that I'm talking about, this one right here. This is rear. The rear window is always represented with a rectangle. So this is what controls your rear wiper. Now this indicator here is what indicates to you, the driver, the current mode that your rear wiper is at. Currently it is in off and my rear wiper is not working. Once I turn it towards int, my rear wiper is going to wipe and take a break, similar to that. It takes a break and it's going to wipe again. Give it a minute, just like that. So that is it. The next setting on the list is on. Once you select on, as I've done now, your tail or rear wiper is going to wipe continuously without breaks, similar to that. Let me turn that off for now because it's running on dry. It's supposed to run with water. Then we have the last modes over here. We have this mode and we also have this mode down there. Now these two modes, this one and this one over here, the last one, specifically aid you once you need to pour or splash washer fluid on your rear window. So for this mode, you need to splash washer fluid, but afterwards you need the rear window wiper to shut off. So what do? You turn it and you hold it towards the last setting down, as I'm doing right now. And what you notice that once you let it go, it also goes back to off. So you check this out. Once I let go, it goes back to off. So this is what I'm talking about. At the back, it is similar to that. So that is it. Then for the last one, up here, you want washer fluid. For the last one up, you notice that it is next to the on setting. So for this one, you want washer fluid splashed onto your rear window, but at the same time, you want the rear wiper to keep wiping. It also does the same. So you see, that is on. So rear wiper, washer fluid is also getting onto the rear wiper. Once I let it go, it stays on the on setting. So that is it. I hope it is clear for everyone regarding this stick. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you've learned something new. Feel free to like if the video has been helpful to you. Subscribe to the channel such that you're the first person to be notified in case I upload more of this content. If you wish that there's something I've not talked about and you wish that I talk about it, kindly leave it in the comment section. I will address your issues one at a time. And that is it for today, guys. I wish you guys all the best on the road. Drive safe, drive responsibly. All the best. Bye bye.